Hello friends, my name is Bilal Khan and today I'm going to be talking about some of the mistakes that I have committed, and I have seen other people also that are making these kind of mistakes, and basically these mistakes will destroy their career as a software developer. So what are these mistakes? So basically the first one is that many people are dependent on tutorials. So this is the thing that you need to keep in mind, that when everyone starts their journey initially in the software development side, they depend mostly on the tutorials. So the thing that you need to avoid is don't depend on tutorials. Instead, what you need to do is to write the code yourself, and the tutorials and the person who is writing the code for you or who is teaching you is not responsible to teach you all the things, or and that person is also not responsible to understand your use case, that what you want to implement. Let's say if you want to make a whole application, then that person is not responsible to give you all the idea that how this application will be made. Instead, you need to figure out that how this application will be working, and this working of this application will be established, and the idea will be generated in your mind by continuous practice. If you are continuously practicing, then you will be better understanding. So the job of the what you can say, the coach or the teacher, is that they will just make you understand the basics of the programming and the advanced level of the programming also. But on the implementation side, you need to figure out that how these things will be helping you in your use case if you are making any kind of application. Although they will give you some kind of testing application that you need to make, but for your all use case, they are not responsible to give you every tip step by step, that for this use case you need to use this what you can say command, and for that use case you need to write this kind of code. They are not responsible. So try to be not dependent on tutorials, and don't search for the tutorials that will give you the whole application as for your case. Instead, try to write your code. So this is the second point that I am going to, is basically try to write code yourself, because the more you will write the code, the more you will understand the pattern, that how this code is going through. Because if you are not understanding the pattern, you are only watching the tutorial, and by completing the tutorial videos and feeling happy that you have completed this thing, but in the reality you have not completed this thing until you are asked that how this if statement works or how this for loop works. So in this stage you will be better realizing that, hey, I have not understood this thing previously. So if you are trying to write code yourself, in the beginning you will face many problem, and after that when you will move to the next project you will make less mistakes, and after that you will make less mistakes, and you will try to get more knowledge about the new things and the advanced level stuff. So this will be happening by writing the code yourself, by trying moving from one project to another project. And once you go to from one project in the beginning, then you will move to the more intermediate project, and then into the advanced project. And after that you will understand the patterns, and that how the project is working, and how these are the things are working, instead of just asking from the person who is teaching you. So this is the second point that I have noticed, and I have committed this mistake also, but I'm slowly recovering from it by implementing the projects more and writing the code myself, instead of just being dependent on the tutorials. Now the third point that I have seen is that people go deep in the beginning. So let's say if a person is learning HTML CSS, then in some stage that person is going deep dive into the HTML or CSS or JavaScript. But in the reality, when you are working for a job, the job is will not work like this. Instead, you have to switch from one technology to another technology, and this is how the job will be doing. So let's say if you are working in a company, then you will be dealing with the HTML, you will also be dealing with the CSS, you will be dealing with the JavaScript or TypeScript. So the point that I'm making is that if you are learning to code, try to focus more on the basics, and focus, instead of going deep dive into one technology just like CSS or HTML. Learn to broaden your perspective, learn to broaden your perspective in order to learn multiple technologies, like take a taste from HTML, take a taste from CSS, and then move to the JavaScript and make some applications along the side, right? So let's say if you have learned HTML, then make a project in it. After that, learn some CSS and try to implement a project in it. After that, move to JavaScript and make a front end application. And then you can, after making some applications, you will understand that how these things are working in a combined way, instead of going just deep into one technology. So yeah, this is the beginner's mistake that many of them are making, and you need to avoid this thing and try to learn like on the as broader side, instead of going deep dive into it. Once you make some project, then you can go deep dive into one technology and you can master it. So yeah, this is the third point that I have seen. Now the fourth point is that that don't like learn how to Google, or more specifically learn how to search. Because I have seen many people who are asking me just the questions that how to learn this technology or that technology, but they are not dependent on the but they are only dependent on the people who will give them the answers. But many people in this age are not responsible to give you all the answers of your question. Instead, what you need to do is to search on yourself, search for yourself that what is the answer of this question. Google is your is free tool, chat gpt is a free tool, and many tools that are free, you can use them and you can take the answer from them. So it means that you need to be less dependent on human and more dependent on the technology about asking the basic questions, because human will not give you the basic answers. Instead, they will give you the broad idea that how this thing will work, and you need to figure out yourself, right? So let's say if a person is saying that you need to learn this, then you are not a person who will be asking from him that how you will learn this, or what are the what are the resources from this for these learnings. Instead, you need to find those resources yourself, because they have just given you the idea that for front end you need to learn HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, but now you need to figure out that what are the resources that are helpful for HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. These are all the things that you need to figure out. So for basic questions and all these things, Google and searching is your friend, but for the broad idea, you can ask from the people, right? So this is the fourth point that I have seen and noticed. So now the fifth point is that basically try to code slowly and by understanding it. So this is the mistake that many beginners make when they want to learn something, and basically they have this kind of idea that if I didn't go in speedy way, then I won't be progressing. So but initially what you need to do is to write the code slowly by understanding each and everything, that how this code is working. Because if you are not understanding, then this will impact you in the future also. So try to code slowly by understanding everything, and once you are comfortable in this, then it will basically make your speed more properly. It will become it will make you a more speedy person, in which all these things will be on your fingertips, sorry. So you need to understand it. Let's say if you are not aware of the for loop or if statement, so try to learn this thing by implementing it slowly and understanding it. And once you implement it in a slow manner, then this thing will be in on your fingertip, and you can easily deliver to other people also. So yeah, this is the important point that you need to keep in mind. So these are the 5 learnings that I have noticed, and some of them I committed also, so you need to avoid them. And if you liked it, then make sure to subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions, then ask those questions in the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer all of them. So till then, goodbye.